our second round of biannual meetings here for the summer for the DART Silver Line Regional Rail Project. My name is Mario Zawala. I'm the Project Communications Coordinator. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown on the meeting agenda, and then we'll dive right in and go over the project update and different things involved with the Silver Line right now. We're going to have welcome introductions, rules of engagement regarding the meeting itself, project overview. We're going to highlight project milestones, both for the project overall as a whole and particularly here in Plano, Silver Line operations, and a public hearing that will be tied to that, information regarding the DART fare restructure, and then how to stay informed and connected with us. I want to remind everyone that public meeting, and we have audio and video recording in progress. If there's information you need from here later on, you can go and find it online on our website, www.dart.org/silverline. We should have these videos uploaded sometime early to the middle of next week. So rules of engagement for the meeting. We'll open the room for questions, comments, and concerns. We have someone that will walk around. If you raise your hand, we'll bring a microphone to you. You can ask your questions. We'll stop at the end of each section to answer those questions. Myself or someone from the Silver Line team will address those questions or concerns for you. If you have a question and you don't want to ask it out loud, we can also bring you a comment card. You can put all your question there, and when we get to the end of the presentation, we'll address those questions as they come up. As I said, we have different members of the Silver Line project team here tonight. Trey Walker, our VP of Construction and Capital Design, will be helping to answer questions. Chris Walters is our community representative for Richardson and Plano. So if you need information about what's going on with DART, not specific to Silver Line, Chris is your man. He can answer questions or help you out with anything you need there. Regarding construction, AWH is our design build contractor. Matt Hemseth oversees the project. Chance Gallup is our project manager. He'll be giving the construction update for us here tonight regarding Plano. As I said, this is the second round of biennials. We did our first round back in January, provided updates regarding the project and what was going on and what you can see coming up. This follows the same format. We'll let you know what's coming up right now here in your area and what we've accomplished on the project overall. We started off this week in Richardson and Coppell. We're wrapping up our first round of biennials today here in Plano. If there's information you missed or you have friends in Carrollton, Addison, or Dallas, please let them know that we'll be out there next week. All right, so the Silver Line project overall, it's a 26-mile alignment commuter rail that provides service from Shiloh Road in East Plano all the way to Terminal B at DFW Airport. It serves 7 cities, crosses 3 counties. It's adding 10 stations to the service area. You can see there it'll go from Shiloh Road to the east through Plano into the City Line Bush area in UT Dallas and Richardson, continue on into North Dallas, stop at Mill Trail, into Addison at the Addison station, continue into downtown Carrollton, make its way further west into Cypress Waters area, which is technically the city of Dallas, but is surrounded by Coppell. And then from there, we go to the existing DFW North Station that's operated by Trinity Metro and Grapevine, and then our final destination at Terminal B, DFW Airport. Each rail station will have connections to existing DART services, and in downtown Carrollton, you'll have future service into Denton on the DCTAA train. If you go to our website, you can look up information for each individual station. This is a sample of the 2 stations here in Plano. You have the 12th Street Silver Line station and then the Shiloh Road station, which is where the journey begins. We also did add an additional station at 12th Street. It's an aerial station that connects to existing service for the orange and red line. The information you'll find on these sheets, basically the circle covers a 1-mile radius. We looked at about a 20-minute walk range, so the information provides different things that you'll find within the station as so forth, restaurants, parks, whatnot, economic development. If you look at the information regarding timing, so from Shiloh Road to DFW Airport, it's just under an hour, so just under 60 minutes. And it cuts down to 56 minutes from 12th Street. Part of the project that's going along with the Silver Line Regional Rail is the Cotton Belt Regional Trail. This is a hike and bike trail that's being built in conjunction with the North Central Texas Council of Governments. Their ultimate goal is to have connectivity from Plano all the way to Fort Worth, being able to walk, roller skate, bike, you name it, have that another option for mobility as the region continues to grow. The section that we're focusing on here that you'll see in the map runs from Plano into Addison. So this encompasses phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 of the project is for the most part complete. We still have some things that we're finishing up there that we need to do some walkthroughs and punch through lists with cities. Phase 2 construction, which will finish out this section of the trail, is set to begin construction in the first part of 2025 during the first quarter. Phase 3 continues on from Carrollton into DFW Airport. Those will have existing connections to existing trails in those cities as well. That will begin once the North Central Texas Council of Governments and the cities finish up finding the funding for the rest of the project. So the Silver Line vehicles themselves, state-of-the-art, require low maintenance. They're diesel powered. These are actual trains, very similar to the TRE service that we offer in downtown Fort Worth. The difference is that obviously they're newer vehicles, sleeker, safer, quieter. Strict EPA standards. We have seating for over 230 passengers. Overhead storage, you can see there on the photo to the right. There's also light cuts in a large storage compartment in an open area that'll have a row of seats on one side. Obviously, the goal for this is to increase traffic to and from DFW Airport and in between. So for those of travelers with large luggage, you'll have spaces where you can put your luggage there. The vehicles and the stations themselves will have cameras that are connected to a CCTV system that DART Police will monitor to improve and increase safety and communication. So we're looking at basically everything you can add to a train. This vehicle has it. If you're familiar at all with the Tex Rail, it's the newer version of the trains they use out there. Again, very quiet, smooth ride. So in regards to the trains, one of the big things that we're doing right now, we just started segmented testing. The trains will actually be on the rail running their full route for the first time Sunday. So right now we're out testing systems, platforms, the rail itself, and the testing right now for segment C, which you see there in the blue, will encompass running from Plano into Richardson. So the goal is to test it out here, and then before we move forward into later on this year, sometime in October, we'll move into segment A, which will run from DFW Airport just past the Addison Station in North Dallas, and then segment B, which encompasses Dallas. As you can see here on the chart, end-to-end testing, which is from Shiloh Road to DFW Airport, we're looking to do come June of next year. The important thing to note here is there's quiet zones throughout the area. During testing, these quiet zones will not be in effect. So what is a quiet zone? That means that the freight trains and the actual Silver Line train will not sound their horn unless there's something on or near the tracks to impede their path. During testing, as we're doing different things, we're testing lights, we're testing the arm signals, we're testing timing. That's why the trains have to sound their horns, just to make sure that passengers, walkers are aware of the train coming through. Freight rail service is active now. We had a lengthy period of time earlier this year and into last year where freight rail service wasn't active because we were doing so much work in the area. That became active in February, so a lot of the rail crossings that were inactive are active now. Again, it's about syncing up with those, making sure the timing works both with freight and with the Silver Line trains as we're doing testing. So the testing itself, we've been in the process of doing the startup and configuration. As I said, the trains will actually be on the tracks on Sunday running their route. We'll be testing positive train control for a couple months, and then from there, we'll exercise the vehicle, which is the train running its routes 2 to 3 times per week here throughout the segment, with the goal, as already covered, is doing the end-to-end testing on the entire corridor come June of 2025. What does that mean to the common person out there. That means that we're going to run simulated service, you know, so the train's going to look like just like it will when it's actually operating from Shiloh Road, you know, all the way to Waterview. So like I said, it's going to go just past the UTD station. The trains don't turn, so it runs end to end. So basically it'll run past, we'll stop, the conductor will go from one end of the train to the other, switch sides, then go backwards as well. So we'll have stops at UTD and City Line. There will be no passenger pickup, but it is testing the doors, testing the connection to the platform, all the little things that we need to do to make sure the train is operating as it should. In the event that something is not going to be operating as it should, or we're aware, we'll have flaggers out there ahead of time. So that way, you know, you have, if you're out driving around, you'll know that we're checking a crossing. We'll have flaggers there to stop you to let you know the train's coming through and they'll let you pass. And then as I said before, there's no quiet zone observance during the testing period. One other thing of note, the maintenance facility for the Silver Line will be located here in Plano. It's we have an office building on Technology Drive. This out to everyone. So our building is located here. This spot right here is the actual station, and this spot right here is the parking lot. So we'll be able to incorporate the trains, like I said, the end to end, and then we're going to continue to build within our right-of-way bays where we'll service the vehicles, wash the vehicles, and be able to fuel them as well. So that's the overview. Do we have any questions regarding this segment of the presentation?
What are the streets that, what are the streets that maintenance section is going to be? It's at Shiloh and
Technology?
Technology.
Yeah, technology. This is technology right here,
Okay.
and then this is Shiloh right here.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Right.
Hi. A couple of things. Do I understand that you're going to be sharing these tracks with freight trains?
That's correct.
I can see that freight trains may play havoc with your schedule, but they don't necessarily run on time.
So, you want to handle some trade?
Yeah, sure.
You can provide more details.
My name is Trey Walker. I'm Vice President for Design Construction with DART. One of the complexities of this project as a whole is that we are interlined with we're interlined with 3 freight railroads along the corridor, and we have a major crossing with BNSF as the 4th freight that we interface with. So we'll actually be dispatching, we'll control dispatch across the entire Silver Line corridor and control the train movements across the border regardless if it's commuter rail or freight. Currently, the freight provider in this part of the corridor operates under an 8-hour window, 4 nights a week. So they more or less enter the territory about 10 p.m. and exit the territory about 6 a.m. That window will get dramatically shorter and will be interlined within our passenger service windows. And also during those times, we'll ensure that the meets can take place on our second track as well. So it'll be interlined. It will be a tight window, but passenger service has priority, and then we'll ensure that the freights can make their required moves as well.
Are there going to be sidings where one train can pull over and let another one pass?
Largely we're been able to create that capacity because the entire corridor is double tracked, with the exception of one single line segment for commuter rail between Richardson and Plano, but that segment is not operated by freight.
Okay. And second, I think it's a great thing to be able to go from Plano to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport direct, cover mobility between the northern tier of the general area, which right now really isn't served by any rail service at all between Plano and Carrollton. But if you're going to provide service for people to get from Plano, Richardson, et cetera, direct to the airport, then I see a need for park and ride at various stations, including Shiloh, for example, in the line. And if you provide park and ride, since people are flying out of the airport, they may have to leave their cars there for 2 or more days. Overnight parking, multiple day parking, which suggests to me that there would be a need for security protection for the vehicles that are necessarily parked there for that length of time. including controlled ingress and egress from the parking lot, lighting, fencing, security monitoring in some form, combination of forms. Maybe, you know, the rental car lots have those spikes that stick up in the driveway to keep cars from going in and out when they're not supposed to, that sort of thing. That's just a suggestion, but I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great observation and something that we're looking at for modifying our parking policy. We've had some conversations with Trinity Metro because they have a similar service on the Fort Worth to DFW side, and they've implemented sort of a tiered parking system for overnight, such that they can let their parking provider, hey, this vehicle's here on purpose, and then the person that's doing the parking has the ability to know their vehicle's being watched. So it's something we're researching and we'll be rolling out in concert with our revenue service.
Any other questions?
Okay, next page.
We'll turn it over to Chance to go over construction.
Good afternoon. My name is Chance Gallup. I'm one of the project managers for the project. I primarily work on franchise utilities, some right-of-way acquisition, a few other things of that matter, as well as work in the Plano area to help oversee some of the overall construction. Some of the good news I have here is basically all the new track has been installed in Plano, with the exception of a little bit of pavement in Avenue Crossing, which will start here in a couple weeks. Currently, we're working at the 12th Street aerial station. You'll see here, that's what this picture is. We've wrapped up a lot of our beams, our platform replacements, and are currently working on our overhead canopies at that station. As mentioned earlier, a lot of the signal testing is starting to ramp up. As dark, you'll start to see those trains go through the stations as well as the crossings. Here is Shiloh Station. It's a center loading platform, essentially. We've got most of the concrete work done. You can see the canopies on the station. And over the next couple weeks, we'll start our column cladding and some of our finish out work with benches and windscreens and things of that nature. What you can't see here in this photo is to the far right is where the parking lot will actually be. We'll start to have some of our storm drainage eventually show up over the next few weeks and start that construction hopefully here pretty soon. Here's a little bit better photo of the platforms of that station. You can see we got our brick pavers, our column cladding will be showing up soon to kind of start to dress up and finish out the station. Here's a little bit better photo of the 12th Street aerial station. As I mentioned earlier, we basically expanded the existing red line bridge, and we've started to put our canopies overhead, which we've been working at night to work around the existing red line alignment to allow our construction to be completed as well as the red line trains to continue on. On the right-hand side, it looks like we've got a crane there lifting construction materials up to the station. Here is the 12th Street at-grade station. It's a dual platform or side loading platform station. We've wrapped up again our canopies. We're starting to finalize all the rail and other parts of the station. So that big area right there that's kind of open, a lot of the construction materials, ties of that nature is starting to move away from there to other parts of the project. So we'll start that parking lot here probably the first of next year, actually. Here's a better shot of the 12th grade at-grade station. Again, we've got the canopies. We've got, it looks like the blue light stations installed. I believe the pavers are already, I think this is a little bit older photo, but I think the pavers are either started or just finished up at that station.
They're done.
Are they? The, looks like we've got the trackway fencing now that separates the two grounds as well. Jupiter Road pedestrian crossing. This is kind of a unique bridge. It's a very tight, narrow area where we have to build a bridge and coordinate with a lot of the participants and local community people. But I think we're lacking the last 2 spans that will go actually over the Jupiter Road here pretty soon. You can kind of see the very south end of the road. You'll see it kind of looks white right there. We've actually placed that decking. And then over the next couple months, we'll finish up placing the concrete for the north side of that street. Our US 75 bridge is complete. We've got rail ties, waterproofing, basically everything we need to do there. We've got a small storage yard right there at the bottom, but basically we're wrapping that bridge up. Here's just some general construction photos of the area. The one there on the left is just the overall 75 bridge construction. That's us actually installing the rail on the concrete precast ties. That machine right there kind of pulls the rails in essentially, and they'll have another machine follow on top of the rails, and they'll actually clamp the rail to the ties. The top right photo is us doing flat work in the area. I think that's a sidewalk at UTD stations, what they're placing right there. And then the bottom 2 photos are photo of the one on the bottom left is actually the rail car that hauls a lot of the ballast you'll see distributed throughout the project. And then the bottom right, I think, is part of our US 75 bridge that we just finished up. Some of our milestones that we've accomplished, as kind of mentioned earlier, we're starting to gear up for testing. We've got a couple of actual vehicles moved over to the project that'll slowly start testing through the intersections. Right now, City Line, UTD Dallas stations are approximately 80% complete. In the near future, we'll be focusing more on the architectural aspects as well as some of the parking lots, some of the civil work there. Rail crossings of the overall project, we have about 70% of 38 completed of the 49 that's total. Overall, our bridges, we're about 80% done of 26 of the 34 total on the project. Pedestrian bridges, we're about 80% done of 6 of the 7 of the bridges. And then the betterment walls, or noise walls as they're called sometimes, we're somewhere around 80% of about 34 of the 61. In total, we've placed basically about 144,000 linear feet of track on the project so far. So a lot of track has actually gone in. Kind of wrapping up the whole Plano area right now. We've kind of wrapped up a lot of our intersections. We've got our rail work done. We're really starting to kind of polish stations up. You start to see small sidewalks getting tied into certain places and things of that nature. So, does anybody have any questions or concerns?
Any questions? Yes, sir. One second. Yes, sir.
I just noticed on some of the stations between the tracks, and some of them it's on either side. Why would you choose one over the other?
Dual platform versus center loading platforms kind of question. Well, a lot of times, sometimes it's just availability of room. Sometimes you only have room for essentially a single loading platform, so you put it in the center. And then if you have more room, a lot of times you'll have side loading platforms a lot of times. And then also things adjacent to the stations matter too, right? Such as parking lots, or sometimes just property availability is for a lot of the reasoning.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you.
One question right here. This one.
I just kind of have a snide question. You have this, at 12th Street, you've got your office building. You put a concertina wire around half of it. What's wrong with the other half?
So that building's going away.
I know.
Okay. It was probably there when we got there. You don't think it was? Well, it's probably because some of the materials were probably valuable in that area that we were storing versus materials in the open area, which are so big you can't carry away.
Yeah.
That's probably why. But that building, that fence and all that gets taken away. It'll be parking lots.
You know, it's so funny to see the concertina wire around half of it, and the backside's all open.
I think that used to be a pawn shop is what we took.
It was,
I believe.
but they didn't have a fence around it either. I mean, that was a parking lot.
Yeah, we probably put it for basically securing materials.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of lighting and electrical stuff like that, copper and stuff that we keep in there. So
But now it's open. Well, you can climb the fence now.
well, yeah. Anything else?
Any other questions? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so covering operating. This is the preliminary operating plan. We say preliminary because everything has to be presented to the board and approved. So as you see at the very bottom, we're going through the communities, gathering input, and then every community will have the opportunity to go and speak to the board before they make their approval. We'll have a public hearing probably sometime at the beginning of next year, sometime in the first quarter. But the preliminary operating plan is moving with 55 to 60 trips, 5 a.m. to midnight trains every 30 minutes during peak weekday service. So you're looking at 2 trains going both directions, and those hours are typically around 4 to 7 in the afternoon and then 6 to 9 in the morning. Outside of those times, we're looking at 1 train every 60 minutes, so going both directions. Weekend service is still being studied. As the gentleman pointed out, this is a lot of service going to DFW Airport, so we anticipate heavier ridership on the weekends. We want to determine how that works before we start setting schedules. So it is flexible, but obviously once we come up with a final operating plan, we'll have set hours, but it is adjustable because we do anticipate a higher ridership there. The other cool thing here is we're able to adjust the train schedule for special events. So every community, whether it's Plano, Richardson, Addison, has their own special events. And if you've ever taken a light rail into downtown Dallas for a Mavericks or Stars game or a concert, typically you'll notice that once you get out, there's a train waiting for you up to 10 minutes, and then you don't have to wait right away. We'll be able to accommodate special events the same way with Silver. As we mentioned earlier at the very beginning, we are in the process of doing a fare restructure and gathering input. So just wanted to share the information with you that we will have an upcoming meeting here in August in Plano at the Municipal Center. And then the public hearing for that is August 27th. If you look at the chart, the major difference that we're looking at is eliminating the monthly pass and getting rid of the AM and PM passes. So there's a couple other things that go into that. Just wanted to share that with you. And then obviously the impact here, regional fares are not impacted, so it won't impact Silver Line until we tackle that down the road. The meeting is part of our communication and community outreach. Our goal is to communicate with you as much as possible, give you as much information as possible, and make sure you're knowing what's going on with the Silver Line, both the project, construction, traffic, milestones, and when you can finally buy a ticket and hop on board. So our goal is to do that. You can keep up with us on the DART website. You can sign up for text or email notifications. We'll send out mailers as well for major events. We work with NTTA and city staff on joint communication to let them know about road closures, traffic delays, interruption of DART service. I do recommend if you're a DART user or you just want to be informed about your commute, go on our website. Every week we update the traffic update for the week. So we try to get those up before the end of the day, Friday, but typically they're up first thing Monday morning, and you can look up for each city individually. We'll have what the construction impact is on traffic, so you can look at that. We'll continue to partner with our cities regarding segment testing. If issues come up or we're having, like I said, we're going to have flaggers in certain areas for a long extended period of time, we'll make sure the city of Plano knows so they're communicating that we all as well as we are. And we'll continue to work with AWH, our contract builder, to reach out to HOAs, apartments, schools, get this information out there, go over different things, including rail safety. Rail safety is very important. Safety is paramount at DART for everything that we do. Our program that we operate is on this educational outfit. They go through the program to make sure that the students know the ins and outs of rail safety. We also augment that with our own materials. You can see samples there of tips for crossing tracks, both in English and Spanish. So again, just want to make sure that whether you're an adult or a kiddo, you're being safe around tracks. How to request a project presentation? Very simple, just ask us. If we're out and about, you can ask us in person, you can email us, silverline@dart.org. We're happy to talk to anyone and everyone regarding Silverline. It's a big project, we're excited about it, and it's going to bring good things to the communities, so we want to share that information with everyone. HOAs, community groups, chambers, advocacy groups, organizations, you name it, like I said, just reach out, let us know kind of what your questions or concerns are regarding the project, and we'll come out and provide that for you and give you all the information that we can. So how do you stay connected with us? As I said, always check our website. It's updated regularly. We just did a refresh of the website so it's easier to manage and use to find information over the course of the last few months. That's some of the feedback we've gotten from these community meetings. It's kind of jumbled up, so we've cleaned it up to where you can find information easier. You can also email us, silverline@dart.org. That comes to me and several members of the team regarding any concerns you have. Please attend meetings or get your friends and neighbors to come as well. If you go to the website, as I said before at the very beginning, you can sign up for project alerts, not just for Silverline, but for all DART services. And we'll keep you updated on your train, your bus schedule, anything major that's going on. The DART hotline there, the 972 number, that's for construction. So if you're out and about and you see something that's out of place, or you have questions about a segment, why a road is closed or something like that, you can typically call that. You'll get a response within 24 hours. Once we get into revenue service, we'll update that number and you'll be able to access someone that can get you information from our customer service, or more than likely me. Any questions? All right, everything shoots up here.
Yes, sir.
Did I understand you correctly that the Silverline will be a regional fair as opposed to a local, or?
No, I meant for connectivity to Fort Worth.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a local, sorry, there's a slight correction. It'll be a local fair on the Silverline.
Yes, sir.
So the person going to the airport from the Shiloh station pays $3. The guy going to the airport from Carrollton is still going to pay $3. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
With regard to your proposed fare structure, I'm a retired federal employee. When I was working, the government subsidized the cost of the monthly DART pass, and I took the train to work almost every day from Plano to downtown Dallas and back again, which was a real benefit and a real convenience. Since I retired, I have had occasion, to go to downtown Dallas for one thing or another, like a dentist appointment or, lunch with former colleagues and that sort of thing. And when possible, I've been getting either the AM pass or the PM pass. Under the present fare structure, what are the times for the AM pass, the midday pass, and the PM pass?
I don't know that we have the answer. Karen can answer, sorry. We're gonna let Karen answer that question. Phone a friend.
All right, currently the AM pass goes from the start of service, which is roughly 5 a.m. until noon. And then PM pass is noon until the end of service, which is more like 1, 2 in the morning. You probably should start looking for a train like that. And then the midday pass is from, I think, 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And so the key thing about the change with the fare change that is proposed is the AM pass, PM pass, single ride, and midday are going away. And they will all be replaced with a single 3-hour pass, which will cost $3.
Okay, since the present AM pass, midday pass, and PM pass all last significantly longer than 3 hours, I like your idea of combining them into a single fixed duration pass that can be used many hours of the day, but I really think it needs to be longer than 3 hours. Maybe 6. Because, from Plano, it may take an hour to get downtown. you know, some time to take care of whatever business you have down there, take the train back. It will be easy to go beyond the 3 hours. And I don't think that's the intent. I think people should be able to do that on a single pass without paying twice.
Thank you. Dee Leggett, Executive Vice President. So the service planning team, which is leading the fare structure study, also reports up to me, so I will pass on your comments to them.
Other questions? Oh, yes, sir.
Are there any possibilities for the communications element of having direct links to the websites of the various cities as well? If some persons might want to be doing something for their particular city or checking it and be able to find a quick link to the DART website or have the same information available in such a way that they can stay on top of all the good things you're doing.
That's something we can look at. I mean, we're always looking to improve our website, and I know we're looking at possibly doing a redesign coming up soon. So that is something we can do. And, you know, to your point, in regards to, like, when you're on the Silverline website, as I mentioned, the regional trail, if you go to our website and click trail information, it takes you directly to the North Central Texas Council of Governments website, because they have all the latest information and it is their project. So that is something we can look at.
Additional questions? Going once, going twice.
All right, well, that wraps up our meeting. We'll still hang around for a little bit if you have any questions. Thank you for being here tonight.